Okay, Doona cover opening. Again, pre-dampened. Folded the same way for myself every time. Edges on my left hand and the fold on my right, or the ironing hand. Finding my opening, tossing everything off the board, and having a quick peek. Now, in this particular case, we have a difficulty here where the buttons and the rest of the fabric has actually forced it to be ravelled up quite almost permanently. There are 3 techniques that you might be able to use depending on how bad it is, or also how bad the Doona is. The first one is to actually take it off the board and fold it under as you go, and run over the length. Now you can do it this way on the board, or let's just start from the other side, or in the other direction, depending on which you find easier, how big the Doona is, how bad this opening part is or isn't. So you have a lot of control over this, and doing it on the vertical instead of along the horizontal as we normally do, which is the next step, or the second technique. You could run all the way through that on the first technique, or you can use the second technique, which now I've got back to front. Hang on, let me just get back to here, so that the right side of the Doona cover, or the presentation side, is on the bottom and the reverse is on the top of my board. So I've just started that part up from the inside on that previous technique. This is the second one, which I've already shown you before. So that's pretty cool. Let's just skip a button or 2. Just this one here. We want to get to that side. Do our little accordion move. Drag it up. Okay, the second one. Fold it over. Make sure the underneath layers of the fabric are flat. Go in between the buttons and stretch out. It's very easy to do. You can pop your hand or your finger in between to straighten that out as you're going. And the third one is a little bit trickier. Let me just get that bottom part done first. There we are. The third one involves that whenever it is rattled up like that, you need to get your fingers on the inside, on that seam, tuck it under with your other finger, and then stretch it out. Now, if you're holding the fabric there and you're stretching at the same time, more often than not, you will get a nice clean finish quite quickly and easily. Not all openings are constructed the same. Focus mostly on the middle buttons when you're doing up your Doonas, and do them up for yourself because, oops, there's one missing, because you don't want things opening up as you're going, especially when you start flicking the Doona around and doing the sides and the center lengths. Okay, and give that a little bit of a press over. Now, if that flap here, or that part of the flap, keeps on coming over, and yet you're stretching the stitches flat and parallel, it's probably not quite set in. So just fold it in. Sorry, it doesn't quite align as well as it could, but if we stretch it, accordion move, as we're going, right, so my right hand's there and I'm pulling there, left hand's there, pulling away, and you can see how much stretch there is in that fabric. all the way to the very end. And then we'll just fold that over and we'll be ready for our next step.